Hey, good afternoon. I am Bradley J. Here in the Alpha Media Topeka studio, and we're doing a StreamYard video. And this is going out over our 94.5 Country Facebook page and our Jack 98.5 Facebook page. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Luke from Special Olympics of Kansas. Luke, how are you doing this afternoon?
Hello, Bradley. I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing good. Special Olympics is dear to my heart. I love being a part of this organization. It just brings so much joy to be a part of it, to watch the athletes and what they do. I've been to is it the one at Red Robin where
Yeah, at the top.
yeah, and it's so much fun interacting and seeing them work so hard. And I'm a big fan of Allison. She gave me my first gold medal I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah, she's a special athlete, and really all of them there in Topeka and North Central Kansas are just fantastic.
My sheet just fell down. I was trying to give Luke tips at the beginning of this. Is it tape everything on the screen? And as I say that, my tape just goes down and gets in front of the camera. Well, Luke, I want to talk a little bit about Special Olympics, and can you talk a little bit about what a traditional year looks like for a Special Olympic Kansas athlete? What are they going through? What are they thinking? What are they doing?
Sure. So, yeah, a traditional year, so basically any year prior to this year, our athletes train year round. We offer 20 year round sports, which a lot of people don't quite know. They think that we're just a track or field event, but really we do basketball, we do winter games, so we do snowshoeing, alpine skiing, we've got basketball, cheerleading. Um, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. And then it goes into the summer months, and then we got softball and golf in the fall. And like I said, it's truly year round, and a lot of the Topeka athletes do just about everything. And so they are engaged about 12 months out of the year, which is fantastic, which is
That
what we
is
want to
fan-
have for athletes.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And I'm sure there are a lot of high fives and hugs and smiles just all year round as they're doing it. We were talking about it's not a traditional year this year. Definitely not. Everybody is feeling the change, even Special Olympic athletes. And with the impact of COVID-19, what does this year look like for an athlete?
To be honest, it's been hard. We've really kind of focused in on the athletes, and when this all kind of kick started, we were getting ready to go into our state basketball season, and one of the tournaments is there in Topeka, and so we immediately had to shut it all down. We were one of the first organizations to do that, but I tell you what, our athletes have really shown their true grit and spirit throughout all of this. They texted, they called, they emailed our headquarters office asking what they could do to help and how they can be involved in Special Olympics, even though we're no longer meeting in person, which really was a great thing for staff. It kind of motivated us to get out and get going. So we created a lot of virtual programming at that time. We did an I-70 challenge, which is where we had all of our athletes, or at least we asked them to walk an extra 2 miles a day for a period of 2 months, which is basically the equivalent of walking Kansas City all the way to Goodland. And
Oh,
so then
wow.
we tracked it all. We gave them all Fitbits so that way they could kind of track their mileage and really kind of gear up their health and wellness. And really, a lot of the athletes participated in that, and that was wonderful to see. We started doing weekly Zoom calls, which is fantastic for our health and fitness partners. So they've been able to go out and get education on, basically all of our healthy athlete stuff that we try to do in person. We've done teeth cleaning, how to brush your teeth properly, hand sanitizing, keeping social distancing. So we've mixed a little bit of COVID in, but then we've also done a lot of our traditional stuff that we tried to do with the athletes at the actual tournaments. And really, it's been a wonderful, well, I shouldn't say wonderful process to be through. Any traditional year would have been better. But like I said, the resiliency of our athletes is just truly awe-inspiring.
So they did get to keep in contact with a lot of their friends, a lot of their supporters, because you would think, like, what's going on? Everybody's being quarantined, and but they did get to find that way to connect through the online stuff that you guys were doing.
Exactly. Yeah, we really tried to do that lifeline, and even those athletes that didn't have internet or didn't have access to computers and Wi-Fi and stuff like that, we sent postcards, we sent letters. We've really tried to engage our athletes both online and offline to make sure that all 5,400 athletes know that we're here for them, that we're connecting with them, that we want to be there for them, and that we're all going to get through this together, and we're going to come out on the other end really strong.
It's such a great community that Special Olympics have, and I know that, like I said, we'll go back to it again. It's a non-traditional year. fundraising. It's got to be difficult in a time like this. How the Special Olympics of Kansas continue to do the fundraising that they need to do.
So that's been one of the trickier parts. We've here in Kansas, we've had a great networking of grassroots fundraisers. It's one of the unique things that makes Special Olympics Kansas different than Special Olympics New York or Ohio. And not that I want to compare or contrast our programs, but here in Kansas, we've got truly a great grassroots support. And so when a lot of the businesses, weren't able to donate because of their, how COVID affected their business models, a lot of the individuals and foundations and community foundations stepped forward and kind of helped and really pushed us through this hard time. So while it hasn't been easy, with a lot of our corporate donations, not being there, we have kind of backfilled a little bit with some individual donations. And so if anybody, would like to donate, please visit ksso.org. There's plenty of ways to donate. The easiest way is just to click the little donate button at the top right, and it'll take you right there.
And you see the support at the events that I've been a part of. You see how much love and how much, just support that the community brings to the Special Olympics Kansas of here in Topeka, and it's so great. And how has it been received? Has it been received like that, or do you see people kind of with things that are going on, everyone's pinching their pennies and stuff like that? But do you still see the people coming out and supporting and donating?
Yeah, so a lot of our in-person fundraisers have been, kind of affected by COVID, so we've really kind of backtracked on that. But a lot of the main supporters, we've really kind of reworked some of the way we worked with our sponsors. We've got some terrific partnerships. You're talking about volunteers there in Topeka. I'd like to do a special shout out to the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. They've really been a terrific partner to us throughout this period by allowing our athletes to use the trails. And use the kind of the state parks to get out there and be active and explore what all Kansas has. So that's been truly remarkable to see.
What's really cool too that I heard about is that United Healthcare has been hosting weekly seminars online. What are some other unique ways that your sponsors and partners have helped out this year?
Yeah, and so the Kansas Health Foundation, we were planning on doing a summer kind of local program conference where everybody was going to kind of come together. We were going to share ideas and brainstorm and talk about different ways that we can work together. Topeka, Manhattan, and kind of, see how those communities work. Since that couldn't happen, the Kansas Health Foundation has allowed us to do it all online. So now November 13th and 14th, we're going to have a health forum to where we're able to kind of reach out to our athletes and really kind of hone down for those 2 days to not only talk to our athletes, but also the coaches and volunteers and people beyond Special Olympics. So, and then, like I said, the Kansas Wildlife and Parks Department has been fantastic, really kind of engaging our athletes as far as that goes with various trail days at various state parks. And it's really kind of gotten us outside of the scope. Like I mentioned earlier, we talked about the 20 traditional sports, and, that was pretty much what we were kind of centered on. And now we've realized that we could do so much more for athletes by engaging different community partners and really, going virtual, but then also like I said, hosting trail days that wouldn't necessarily fit in with track and field, but is definitely part of health and wellness. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do is, improve the health and wellness of people with intellectual disabilities.
Well, I will say this. I've been riding my bike during this time. I got a bicycle, and I'm glad that I am riding it because I get challenged by some of the athletes to participate. And if I'm not in shape, I know that I'm going to get I want to at least be competitive because I know the athletes are very good at the sports that they do. And a lot of them do multiple sports. So I know I have to be, because we all know the person I'm talking about who challenges me, and that's Allison. She's always challenging me to something. Come on out and try to cheer or try to do this. And I'm like, girl, I got to get in shape first. So I'm so glad to hear that, some of these things that you guys are doing online and just kind of thinking outside of the box when it comes to keeping the athletes like doing what they're doing. And speaking of the athletes and the supporters, they're doing what they can. But what about people like me, the general public, who used to volunteer in a traditional year? How can they help? How can they donate maybe today or even like weeks down the road?
Yeah, so we have done a virtual volunteer questionnaire form type thing. So probably the easiest way if somebody wants to engage with Special Olympics, even though we have to keep our social distance, we can still kind of engage and use folks for volunteering. Go to ksso.org, look for the volunteer tab, and then you'll see the kind of the drop down online part. And that is probably the easiest and best way to get in contact with us. And then we can get something to you so that way you can still volunteer and help out with Special Olympics and interact with the athletes, even though it's through Zooms or whatever else we've got going on.
So, with all that we've talked about, is there anything that I haven't touched on or I haven't asked you? I haven't been thorough. I want to make sure that I'm thorough with everything that's going on. Is there anything else that you would like people to know?
Really, I just can't get, the message across enough that, even though it's been hard, this time of COVID's been very difficult to get through. We're very optimistic. Like I said, what we had thought we were going to do, kind of the model we've had for the last 50 years, Special Olympics has been in formation here in Kansas since 1970. So, it's our 50th year. We've kind of had this mentality of this is what we do. And throughout the COVID, it's almost been a blessing on what all we can provide to our athletes outside of the 20 traditional sports, outside of our traditional healthy athletes. And so it's going to take new people. Not that we want to lose any of our old folks. We've got traditional volunteers and wonderful volunteers that have volunteered for us for years. And we couldn't do it without them, that's for darn sure. But it's going to take some new folks, some new energy to kick off some of these new programs. And so that's really kind of what we're after. And so if anybody's interested, like I said, reach out to us at ksso.org, call our headquarters office, and we'll get you hooked up there in Topeka, Manhattan, wherever you guys happen to be listening out of. We've got local programs all over the north central Kansas region. And so we really can't say enough to you guys for helping us broadcast that out. And then obviously support the Athletes Got Talent. This is something definitely excited. I think our athletes are really going to like it. And so that's another way that people can definitely show their support.
And, I was going to talk about that because you know about it. That was my next question, if you know about it. But I do want to say something. If you're thinking about getting involved, you should definitely do it, because when you walk away from an event that you volunteered at or you helped at, I have never, it's been a long time since I felt that way after I got done doing an event. Just how it's hard to explain. But once you help out, you volunteer, and you're there, and you watch, and you see everything that goes on with Special Olympics of Kansas, it's such a great feeling. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg on how you feel once you get done. It is so great. So if you can volunteer, take some time out, come join us, man. You're gonna have a lot of fun. And I'll tell you what, when you walk away, those athletes, you're just like, yeah, I got it. When's the next event? Like, sign me up. Now let's get to it. Luke kind of touched on it a little bit. This is a big announcement that we're the Alpha Media, Jack 98.5 and 94.5 Country have put together. We're excited to announce that this year, the big 94.5 Country, 98.5 Jack FM, and Special Olympics Kansas are teaming up to show our support to Special Olympic athletes with our Athletes Got Talent. Now, our promotions director, Shayla, her and Lindsay Gutierrez came up with this, and it's so cool. It's going to be done on our website. So here's what's going to happen. Starting next week, go to 94country.com and 98.5jackfm.com. We're going to have a video. We will have a video submission page, okay, highlighting Special Olympics athletes and their special talents or their own twist on an at-home Olympic event. I've actually been practicing my trash can basketball at home, and so I'm okay at it. I'm okay. So maybe I'll show what my home athletic event is. But for the next 2 weeks, we invite our listeners to check out that website to view video submissions and show your support for Special Olympics. Again, it's just so cool that we can partner up with you to do it. Now, let me ask you, are the athletes, do they know about this yet? And are they excited if they do?
Oh, yeah, they definitely are.
So this is a cool thing. Just go to our website for the next 2 weeks and check out the video submissions. It is Athletes Got Talent, the Special Olympics. I think it's going to be such a cool thing. And like I said, it's not the same as seeing them in person doing the events. But hey, if we can get out this talented group of athletes on our web pages, it's going to be exciting to go and check out. So I'm looking forward to it. Luke, thank you so much for joining us, talking a little bit about Special Olympics of Kansas. Again, if you want to volunteer, I don't know if Shayla can throw that back up there one more time. I know it's been up there. Visit www.ksso.org and get involved with Special Olympics of Kansas. Luke, thank you so much for letting us be a part of the Special Olympics of Kansas, and thanks for joining us to talk about it today.
No problem, Bradley J. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. There you go. I'm Bradley J. That's Luke from Special Olympics Kansas. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, we will have another StreamYard video coming soon. So have a good afternoon.